All right, hopefully this thing is still working. Hi, this is Bryon Lape of BryonLape.com, also known as roadtothefuture.info. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for all the great comments. Getting a lot of comments about when I shared some of my Myers Briggs results. And people want to know what it was like growing up as an INTJ. Someone asked what it was like growing up with FI. I tell you, it was it was good and bad, right? Parts of it sucked. Parts of it were great. When I was growing up, my dad was in the Army, and Uncle Sam kept him away from a long time. Quite a bit of the time. You know, he was teaching Army RTC and colleges and Ranger School and stuff. And my mother was very extrovert. She still is. She's very, I mean, she has her quiet moments and things, but growing up, she was cheerleader and out, you know, not sure what the dog's doing other than trying to chew my hand. Do you mind, Toby? So anyway, just got done bottling some homebrew and thought I would sit down and make a video, even unshaved and everything else. So growing up, I liked school and I hated school at the same time. I liked learning. I still like to learn. I really like it when I'm learning new things and I can internalize them and make them my own. I gotta talk with my hands, Toby. And what drove me nuts in school, I was in elementary school in the 70s, especially in particular the late 70s, when Carter was president and started the Department of Education. They started all this new math crap. They started this open school garbage that didn't work. And those kind of environments were terrible for me. They were too noisy, too many kids, too many interruptions. And I was blessed in 5th grade with 2 teachers who understood that not everyone could not handle, but didn't care for that environment. And in math, in particular, in spelling. And so they allowed students who the class had a particular pace, and they allowed students to work at their own pace. And nowadays, probably teachers wouldn't want to do this because, that makes them look different or whatever. So I was faster, especially at math, than the rest of the class. Math in particular, I would blaze through a chapter a night. I would just do homework, months in advance. It was great. I learned lots of things. And spelling, I was in a 6th grade spelling book in 5th grade. And there were some kids that were in 7th grade spelling, but we basically went at our own pace, and our teacher would have these books, and when she'd give the tests, we'd have tests twice a week, and you would, quizzes, I should say, and she would just say 5th grade book, 6th grade book, 7th grade book, and go one at the same time. It was great. Mrs. Greer was her name. And I really enjoyed that. And in 6th grade, we moved, and I was in regular math, and then I was on the math team after the competition was over, so I had some times where I could do that. But through all of that, we didn't really have much television, especially when we moved to Fort Belvoir, and on base I could ride my bike to the library, and I would check out Hardy Boy's books, and Encyclopedia Brown I'd already been reading, and somewhere in there, about 7th grade or so, I got into The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings in 8th, 9th grade, 8th and 9th grade. Read them multiple times. I read everything I could devour. I had a paper route in 9th grade, and I would walk and read at the same time. And magazines, and I played Traveler a little bit. I really science fiction and fantasy, and I internalized it, and I wrote some stories, and I just liked to be by myself many times. Sometimes I play with some of my friends, and we do different things, and then computers started to become a bit more important, and I was fascinated with this machine that I could learn to program and manipulate and have it do stuff, and that's how come I ended up in computer science. It was very my little world, if you will. I loved that I could create my own little universe inside the computer. And so my mother never fully understood me, in some ways still doesn't. She being extroverted and me being introverted, and she'd want to do stuff and I'd want to stay home, and she'd say, well, how come you always stay home and it's boring to stay, and then Interestingly enough, my wife is very extroverted, at least when we were younger. She still is some now, but she likes to read and do things and stay in. But there are times when she likes to go out, and sometimes I go with her, and sometimes I just, no, you need to get your extrovertness going, and I need to be out of your way. So, anyways, I hope that helps some. I've loved the comments people have been sending me and putting in down below, and comment down below whatever you've got. You got more questions? Want to talk about in INTJ? Any of the personality types? We think some people think I'm more of an. I've seen ENTJ. I've seen EN something P. I think. But hey, we all have our ideas and our desires and things, and I really enjoy the feedback, and I like what we've got going on. Anyway, so. This is the second time I've done this video because the camera keeps screwing up, so this is why I'm really lost right now. So anyway, done, Toby? May I say goodbye to the people? All right, so that's a little bit about me, about growing up as an INTJ, very internal. Thinking I'm still in that same way now. There are times when I really need to think of something. I just need to get away and quiet and just think it through. So thank you very much. Subscribe. Thank you. Bye.